talk about possibly the most wasted potential of the DCEU. Justice League is one of those properties that I was dying for. I couldn't wait to see that DC was attempting their own build up towards an event like this. Clearly, Marvel was way ahead of the curve, and they have established themselves and had multiple Avengers movies out by this point. They had a formula that was working. And so I wanted Justice League to work. I wanted it to be good. I wanted them to kick ass. And this is the complete opposite of kicking ass. This film sucks. Obviously, there's a lot of behind the scenes reasons for why this movie sucks, between Zack Snyder being fired from this film halfway through production and about 80% of his footage being reshot and taken over by Joss Whedon. Clearly, a lot of drama went on with him and all of that situation that I won't really get into right now. And we do know that the Snyder Cut is a thing. And so let's not talk about what could have been or what the Snyder Cut will show and is. Let's just talk about what Joss Whedon and Warner Brothers DC put together. Some people call it the Frankenstein monster of the DC. Yeah, this is 2017 Justice League. At the very beginning of the film, the first scene, this is how you know that this movie is in trouble. There is some cell phone footage of these two kids going up to Superman. I'm not really sure where in the timeline this takes place, but they're talking to him. They're asking him questions about being a hero and whatnot. And I know it's cell phone footage, but the face of Henry Cavill, immediately you see that something's wrong. Something doesn't look right. Something looks off. His face looks like it's not moving with his body. It just feels like they're moving in opposite directions. It's creepy. It's distracting. I can't even pay attention to whatever the hell they're saying on screen because I'm distracted by Henry Cavill's face. Yes, now we know now that because Joss Whedon had to do so many reshoots, Henry Cavill was in the middle of making Mission Impossible, and they would not let him shave his mustache for the reshoots. I don't blame them. It's not Mission Impossible's fault that Warner Brothers was screwing up as much as they were. So this is what you get. You get a monstrosity of a scene that's not even needed. It doesn't really have a whole lot of context as far as what's it like for Superman to be a hero. At the beginning of this film, he's dead. So why? Why have this? It's so odd. It seems like something that maybe Whedon just wanted to do with the character and not really paying attention to the continuity that was set up and established for the plot and whatnot. And I feel bad because Henry Cavill should get more scenes like this where he is inspiring kids, where he is providing hope. This is definitely a version of Superman that I have wanted to see on screen for a good while. It just sucks that between the mustache and between everything else going on and the script not really making sense, that this is the film that we had to get it in. Plus, now when you get to present day, you see that the city is mourning Superman's death, which always also caught me by surprise because in Batman vs. Superman, it seemed like more of the city, more of the world was against Superman, doubted him, didn't trust him. And I get their reasons for it. I didn't mind that story point, but it's like, what, just because he died? Yeah, he died in battle, but just because of that, everybody has now turned? Really? The guy had to die for the whole world to realize that he was a good man? It just feels like there could have been a easier, better way for his legacy to get to this point, but I guess they think he had to die. One of the first action scenes is you see Batman battling or chasing a parademon all throughout Gotham. It's so disjointed how a parademon just all of a sudden is here. They don't explain where it came from or how or why. It's just here. Batman's just fighting with it, and it's bizarre because we had that nightmare scene in Batman vs Superman that had all of these parademons in it. So cut to this movie where it's just like, oh hey, there's one of those damn parademons. Oh, okay. You also have those weird, awkward jokes because Batman was just catching a criminal right before this happened. And so the criminal guy is talking to Batman or having interactions with him tied up, trying to figure out what this parademon is. There's even a moment where Batman says in his earpiece Alfred's name out loud, loud enough for this criminal to hear it. I was dumbfounded by that. I could not believe he basically just gave his identity to this criminal that I'm sure is ethical enough to where he would not tell anybody. Okay, fine if nobody believes him, but still, come on, B man. You cut to Bruce Wayne. He's going around looking for other metahumans, which is bizarre to me because you see Bruce Wayne with a full beard, and we literally just cut from him as Batman fighting the parademon. How much time has passed? Why does Bruce Wayne already have a full grown beard? I know that the real reason is because of these scenes being misconstrued and edited, and some scenes are Snyder's and some scenes are Whedon's, and so yeah, it's not going to make sense just on the logistics level. But what about logic in the story plot points? Has Bruce Wayne been gone for months looking for Arthur Curry and eventually Barry Allen? I guess so. So why not? Why even question it? Steppenwolf, the whole point, the whole plot of this movie, the reason why Bruce Wayne feels like he has to gather a team together is because Steppenwolf is leading an army of parademons to this planet because he's looking for the mother boxes. And the mother boxes, I guess they're just radio powered boxes that power the world or some said shit. They have flashbacks explaining how Amazons and Atlanteans and gods that they all created the mother boxes and that they were supposed to protect it. And Steppenwolf years ago tried to fight for them, but he failed. And also, you get a quick shot of a Green Lantern in battle. So I guess that's your one geek out moment of the night. Steppenwolf, him getting his ass kicked this easily by all of them just makes the Justice League, the eventual Justice League, throughout the movie look pretty incompetent because Steppenwolf seems like he's able to get the mother boxes a lot easier this time around. In fact, you get a moment of Steppenwolf and his army easily defeating the Amazons. Easily. I mean, he makes them look like punks. And it sucks because I thought they were badass. I thought they looked great in the Wonder Woman film. I know it's supposed to make Steppenwolf look all powerful and dangerous, but I wasn't feeling it. Plus, he also is able to beat up the Atlanteans, but it was the Amazons that hurt more, especially when you see the costume changes for the Amazons. They're such more scantily clad and not as well clothed as they were in Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman. I wonder why. And no matter who the director was in this film, the fact that he was a dude, I guess that's why the Amazons were sexualized a lot more this time around. Ray Fisher plays Victor Stone, aka Cyborg, and he gets nothing to do. Absolutely nothing to do. I'm not going to get into all this Ray Fisher stuff that has been going on with Joss Whedon and Warner Brothers and the huge amount of controversy and just smack talk, really. He said, she said, no concrete stuff. It's all confusing. All I can say is that watching this film, Cyborg is just there. Not a whole lot of characterization, not a whole lot of backstory. Certain things are told to you as far as him losing his humanity and being more robotic, like his father working with him and wanting to help him. Again, it's not enough. It's not all that fleshed out. He's not that interesting of a character. Just going off of what they give me, and we get a scene of Commissioner Gordon, J.K. Simmons playing Commissioner Gordon. And look, he looks the part. He looks great, and J.K. Simmons clearly is a great actor. And I would have liked to have seen him play Commissioner Gordon in a Ben Affleck Batman film. But this scene, especially in retrospect, is really unnecessary. It's really unneeded. It seemed like it's just here to set up and establish what Gotham is and looks like for Batman when that movie was eventually supposed to come out. But again, in retrospect, pointless. Ezra Miller as the Flash. I know I'm probably alone, or at least not as many people are on my side with this particular opinion. But Ezra Miller is annoying as hell as Barry Allen, as the Flash. You had that first scene where he meets with Bruce Wayne and he's just talking a million miles per minute. He's just rambling and he's telling jokes that aren't funny, or at least not making me laugh whatsoever. And then you get so many moments of him being goofy with Gordon. He talks to Batman and says that he doesn't know how to fight. He just pushes people out of the way and runs really fast, which I know is supposed to be a joke, but at the end of the day, it makes you wonder, well, why the hell did Bruce Wayne, Batman, recruit a guy who has no experience whatsoever? He maybe has gone out and done a couple of things, but is it enough to warrant and make sense out of being in a world-ending battle like this one? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And Ezra Miller, maybe it's just the way how he's playing the part, but he just comes off as somebody that is unlikable, very unlikable. I'm trying to leave that personal stuff out of it with Ezra Miller and attacking the fan and whatnot. I just feel like watching him, he gets on my nerves. And I'm not interested, at least as of right now, in seeing him play this same exact Barry Allen and be the main character of his own film. There is a battle underground with the team fighting Steppenwolf's army. I guess it's action, so it's decent enough. There is a moment though when Batman uses this bat spider mobile. I don't know. It confuses me on what in the hell this thing is. I'm pretty well versed with Batman and his equipment and his vehicles. I've never seen this creature ever. And why would Batman have anything that resembles more of a spider than anything else? I just thought it was an excuse for whoever directed this moment to have the over the top crazy action that it does. It gives Batman more to do because let's be honest, Batman doesn't have powers. What really is he going to do? Speaking of goofy moments, there is a moment where the Flash is running and he trips and falls on top of Wonder Woman, and his face is in her boobs, and he gets freaked out and pops up. And it's supposed to be a laugh out loud moment. It's supposed to be, oh, look at, hey, he fell on this woman's boobs. But it's Wonder Woman, and I don't really like her being the object of an overly sexual joke. That Wonder Woman in 2017, that film, had plenty of jokes that weren't overly sexualizing her, that wasn't in a way of saying, oh, hey, look how hot she is, or wouldn't you like to be in this situation if you were the Flash? I don't know. I didn't get good vibes from that scene. I didn't get good vibes from a lot of the scenes with Wonder Woman, because there's even a moment later on where Bruce Wayne is arguing with Wonder Woman over the fact that she's been out of commission. She has not been a hero for over 100 years. And I know that that was something that even Zack Snyder set up in Batman vs. Superman, but they really double down on that here. They make her look like an idiot just for Bruce Wayne to shut her down and make her look dumb. And it's something that I never really thought made sense for Diana as a character. And clearly, Patty Jenkins feels the same way because the Wonder Woman movies have completely ignored that idea that she's been out for that long. Also, back to Barry Allen, you get a random scene where he goes to prison, not himself. No, he's talking to his father because his father's in prison. Because I've watched the Flash TV show on CW, I know the backstory. I know what's going on. I'm not saying that they shouldn't address all of this in the films because obviously there are some people who haven't seen these shows and maybe don't know 100% everything. But this doesn't seem like the film to do this. This does not seem like the movie to have him talk to his father in prison, to have all of that mystery because you're sitting there wondering, well, why is his father in there if you don't know? And to get into all of that just doesn't really make sense to bring up now. This clearly should have and could have been saved for his movie. You can make the argument, a very good argument, that this movie should not have happened until we got a Flash solo movie, an Aquaman movie, or a Cyborg film. Maybe we wouldn't feel as disconnected from Flash and Cyborg, especially if we had seen their movies first. I don't know. You can't really say until we get the finished product, but as it stands now, I don't feel connected to this Barry Allen. I don't feel connected to Cyborg really at all. They're just here. They're here to remind ourselves of characters that we do know from cartoons and comics, but not from this universe. Barry and Victor digging up Clark Kent's grave. This was gross. I hated this. I hated this. Seemed like a horrible way, a horrible reason for Clark Kent to get resurrected. I guess the dirt rising at the end of BVS didn't mean shit, and he really is dead. They use the mother box to resurrect Superman. I don't really understand how this works or how powerful these mother boxes are, what goes into their power, and the fact that they can raise the dead. It's what? Okay. And they have to time it in the same exact perfect way for Barry to hit his lightning to activate the mother box and to put Clark in that liquid. It's all weird. It's all wacky. It's all confusing. But when Superman does wake up, when he is back to life, he does not have his memories. So, of course, he's evil for a few minutes. They have this cool kick ass fight with Superman fighting the Justice League. I will admit, this is pretty entertaining. This is pretty cool. Yeah, but the way how this fight got started was really, really dumb. They're trying to talk to Clark. They're trying to tell him, especially Wonder Woman, trying to tell him that he's good and that they're allies. But Cyborg, for whatever reason, he can't control his weapons system. What? Why? Why can't he control his weapons? Since when do you have a character like Cyborg have weapons that are thinking on their own, that there's a computer part of him that isn't connected to his consciousness and that can track threats and just react and shoot on their own? What if there's so many other instances where this could be a misunderstanding or this could be something that doesn't work? I don't get it, other than the fact that, well, we have to get a reason for Superman to want to have to fight these guys. Of course, the moment where Superman sees Flash running in slow motion, that's super cool. It's just too bad that Flash is such a little bitch that he doesn't know what to do at all. Jokey Batman is something that we get through so much of this film, and it annoys the holy hell out of me. Like when Superman recites the "Do you bleed" moment to Batman, and he gets dropped, and Batman says something about, "Oh well, yeah, something's bleeding." It just Batman's not a character to tell jokes. He's not. He's not Tony Stark in that way. I feel like whoever wrote this just doesn't understand the Batman character at all. The way how you do jokes with Batman. Comedy with Batman is really reserved to the idea that other people are making jokes, other people are saying outlandish things, and the funny thing that Batman can do to make you laugh is that he's uber serious. He hears a joke or he hears somebody else say something that could be funny or could be dumb, and he stone faces it. Batman has to stone face all of these moments, and that's where the comedy is. The fact that he doesn't tell a joke, that he doesn't react to it. Why is it so hard? Why is it that Batman the Animated Series knew how to tell jokes with Batman? Oh, wait, I didn't even talk about the moment where Aquaman talks to Mera with an air bubble, basically. He creates an air bubble so that they can talk to each other underwater. I mean, I get what the idea was, I guess, because if you're thinking on a too realistic level, you don't really expect these characters to be able to breathe and talk underwater, but this isn't realistic. Obviously, there's a huge fantastical element when it comes to Aquaman, and so the air bubble is dumb. Doesn't really make any sense. I remember when this film first came out, immediately the director of Aquaman said, "No, I'm not doing that. I'm doing something very different." Why couldn't these directors talk to each other? Why couldn't the studio talk to the director, talk to James Wan, ask him what he was planning on doing for his Aquaman movie as far as the characters talking, so that we can have some consistency here? The Aquaman movie just came out a year after Justice League. There's no reason why they couldn't have had some more cooperation, collaboration. After Superman is fighting the Justice League and he's evil, the only thing that can save him and take him out of this is their arrival of Lois Lane, his long lost love. You see Lois, and they go back to the farm in Smallville. Him asking her about the ring, which I think that wasn't even in the movie. I think that was in the trailer. That really bothered me is that in the trailer you see that he asked Lois about the ring, and the fact that she's wearing it means that she said yes. That scene's not even in the movie, or that line of dialogue was taken out just to have all this other stuff of her basically saying, "Oh, hey, look, he has abs. He's hot." That's more important than the character work that was built up before. Of course, the start of a sequence of scenes between a Russian family that is the same area where Steppenwolf is about to bring his parademons. Why? Because why the hell not? I guess this is the area that he chooses to want to create his boom tube and cause the damage that he's going to start to have. Whatever. The Justice League obviously has to go there to start the fight and stop him. But we constantly, I lost track, maybe 6 or 7 times, we're cutting back to this Russian family. And only this one Russian family, you would think that the area is completely deserted other than the one Russian family, which in that sense, I guess it's not too populated and it doesn't really matter as much if they die. Look, I know that that's harsh. I know that there are kids there. So I'm not saying that for real. I'm just saying that give me some other shots of other people. Did you guys run out of budget that much, run out of money that much to not shoot anyone else running around, not show any other civilians in danger? Maybe, maybe not. There's a moment later where the Flash has to save this family and he has to run them right out of the explosion. And he speaks to them in Russian. I'm not really aware of what he says, or I forget what he says, but it's supposed to be a joke. And the little girl just looks at him. And I remember being in the screening for this movie and how awkward and uncomfortable and unfunny that scene in particular was. A lot of scenes were like that with Barry Allen where he was telling jokes and nobody was laughing. Steppenwolf, you hear him say the name Darkseid, so I guess that's a big deal, I guess. I don't know. Hearing his name didn't really do a whole lot for me, but it's something. Steppenwolf, I guess I should talk about Steppenwolf and how lame as fuck of a villain that he is. he's clearly all doing this just for Darkseid. I think there's a sense of unclear of why he's doing it. Is it just to make Darkseid happy? He's angry and he wants to be taken seriously as his own threat. So maybe he's trying to step out of the shadows of Darkseid. It's not explored at all. His motivation isn't developed or isn't really getting into. But my main issue, because that's all a problem, and to not care about his motivation takes me out of the threat and the villain itself. But my main issue with Steppenwolf is how horrible he looks. The CGI looks terrible. His humanoid looking face looks terrible. Originally, he was supposed to look more alien demon like, especially in that one scene in BVS, the extended cut, where you get the design of this is how he was supposed to look in the Justice League movie. And for whatever reason, if it was Whedon or somebody new who came along and said that they wanted him to have more of a human looking face, that was terrible. They clearly didn't have enough time to develop this effect because even when he talks and his mouth is moving, it looks like PlayStation 2 graphics. And how fucking long ago was PlayStation 2 for that to even be a thing? He looks terrible. Steppenwolf, I'm going to say, is probably the worst of the DCEU villains that we've had to date. And that's saying a lot because Ares wasn't that great in Wonder Woman, if we're all telling the truth here. So the battle, I guess, picks up when Superman shows up. He has his classic blue and red costume, and he's being more hopeful and jokey. At least Superman, he can get away with telling jokes in moments that come across as more believable than when Batman was doing it. So I was okay with that. Superman easily though takes out Parademons, easily even takes out Steppenwolf. It's almost like Steppenwolf wasn't even much of a threat, even if it was just a Superman. If this was a Superman sequel, Superman would be able to take care of this in one battle. It'd be so easy. You don't even need the other members of the Justice League there, or at least that's how it seemed. We get our last shot of the Justice League together. I wanted to be into this. I wanted to say, oh, wow, we finally got it. We finally got live action Justice League. And they're all lined up together. This is our heroes. This is our moment. It's supposed to be like that Avengers spinning around scene in the Battle of New York, but it does not come close. It does not touch that feeling that I had in the Avengers. In some of the last remaining moments here, Bruce Wayne buys the Kent farm from the bank because I guess they were in danger of losing the house. Well, wait. So this whole time, for how many years it's been since, like 2 years since Superman died, you're telling me that Bruce Wayne never attempted to take care of Martha Kent, especially after the big deal that he had about the name Martha. He never took care of her financially. It took Superman getting resurrected for him to pay attention and give a shit about this farm being taken. Really, Bruce Wayne? That's kind of a dick move. You get another shot of Clark Kent dressed up in his Daily Planet reporter outfit, the glasses and jacket and all. And I immediately started to wonder, well, how the hell did Clark Kent explain coming back to life? We saw in the newspaper at the end of BVS that both Superman was declared dead and Clark Kent was declared dead amongst the people who might have died. And so the world thinks that he's dead. Perry White should think that Clark Kent is dead. How do you explain him coming back? Oh no, guys, for 2 years I was trapped on an island and I made my way back. Bullshit. Like, you can't just ignore that. There's a problem if I'm sitting there in the theater and my first thought isn't, oh cool, that's all fan service, but it does not make sense in the context of the story whatsoever. One of the two after credit scenes, you see the Flash and Superman having a race. They make jokes about how Barry Allen doesn't like brunch or doesn't understand brunch, and so that's a thing. And whoever wins, I guess if Superman wins, then Barry has to have brunch, whatever the hell. And they don't even show us the race though. Like, sure, fine, it's a cute moment and it's a cool Easter egg to a past comic book where these two did do a race, but the difference is that the comic book showed the race and it had a winner. This movie doesn't even do that. It just ends in a cliffhanger as they speed off, and it's like, oh, well, take a guess, guys, on who could have won. Our second after credit scene is a lot more interesting, and I will say this: out of all of my complaints, this after credit scene, it'll probably never amount to anything, and that's what sucks the most about it. But we get a shot of Lex that he broke out of Arkham somehow, some way, and you see that he's on a yacht and he gets the services of Deathstroke. Slade Wilson shows up, and the two of them talk about creating their own legion, their own league. I assume it's the Legion of Doom. And I don't know if that was supposed to be a setup for Justice League 2 or if that's the direction that whether Zach was going for or Joss Whedon reshot this and this is what he was told to do. I don't know. It's bizarre, but it's kind of cool in its own pocket world to think about happening. But it ends up sucking because we'll never see anything out of it. So, damn. What a big waste of time. This movie, honestly, at the end of the day, 2 hours of a big waste of time. Yeah, there's some cool action in it. Yeah, there's some cool moments in it. But overall, a huge disappointment. And this is, without a doubt, my least favorite DCEU film. I dread the idea of having to rewatch this film, and that's not good. It's not. You shouldn't want to have to do that or have that thought. And the first big team up film of your franchise. So, guys, let me know in the comments below what do you think of Justice League 2017. Do you think it sucks as well, or do you think I'm being too harsh? What are some of your favorite moments, your least favorite moments? Like, comment, subscribe. Later.